Hey everyone, my name is Axtech as per usual. Today we have a video computer that just is not good enough. So yeah, without any further ado, roll the intro and we'll get straight away into it.
Click on Zombie Apocalypse.
If you remember a couple episodes ago, videos, probably like 10 or so videos ago, you may recall me talking absolute complete shit about the Core 2 line. In my opinion, they are dead, and no matter what you do with them, you're not going to get anything useful out of them. They are power hungry as all hell, especially when you overclock them. They are just incredibly inefficient compared to newer stuff. It makes sense, but it's not what I mean. Compared to second gen. Just second gen alone is just so much more efficient, like it's crazy. But it's not what I'm talking about. They're they're hot boys. They suck a lot of power and they still run on DDR2. I mean, fine, you need DDR3 boards, but let's be realistic. I haven't come across a proper DDR3 board where I can actually do some proper overclocking, not like the Q5S, whatever the Asus boards are. They're DDR2, and no matter what you do, they're just shit. So in today's video, I want to uncover a couple of things. Now, this computer actually came along because I did an oopsie. So I drove about an hour away to get a PC that I saw online. It just listed quad core. I had this really weird like Antec water cooling system in it, and I figured regardless that stuff is antique or just not found, so I can just go ahead and just sell that probably for like 50, 75 bucks and get a build of money back. I think the rig cost me $250, I think. And it had a GTX 760 in it, and that's the whole reason I went to buy it in the first place. I figured, alright, cool, it's a rig with a weird water cooling system, yunk that out, sell it, whatever money you get from that, invest into a proper CPU cooler, and then you can probably sell the rig with a new case for about probably 400-ish, considering the crap market, or we were entering the crap market then. This is like, this whole footage is like probably a year ago, so you can kind of see me do stuff good and some pretty shit stuff to filming, but it doesn't matter. So with this rig, I went ahead, bought it, drove that, bought it, gave it 250 cash, no stress whatsoever, plugged it in at home, and it worked. I went ahead and I didn't even bother looking at the board. I'll just plug it in and get the specs off of it. I'm gonna check, and I've got a Q9505 in there. I mean, sure, it's a nice CPU, and sure, I can probably sell that off for 50 bucks. But I spent $250 on this. I'm like, I can get an i5 2400 PC right now. I'm looking. I'm gonna have to go pick it up for $170, and it's just been up for weeks. And this has 8 gigs of RAM, i5 2400, decently-ish PSU. It's got a 6-pin on it, so I can just run something low like a 560 if I can find one. And yeah, and just put a proper case in for like 60 bucks on eBay. But it just, I was pissed off. Making sure I had 8 gigs of DDR2 RAM, and there was some high-end fast boy RAM. Still, Kingston RAM. Still, it was just, I don't want to deal with DDR2 stuff. I don't want to deal with Core 2 quads because they're just useless.
So for the record, if anyone wants to know what fucking Core 2 Duo like power supplies look like, this is the crap you're dealing with. It's fucking filthy. So filthy. How filthy that is.
Oh well, so I got it. I'm gonna, you know what? Let's give it another shot. And this video is me giving it another shot. I'll talk more in detail about how I went about it, because there are some couple of things that you will probably notice in the montage at the end of it when I show the PC off. You will notice there's a big change, especially with the CPU cooler. But even the water cooler installed, oh god, that was a fucking mess and a half. So yeah, so without further ado, roll the montage.
Mistake, I follow every move you make.
So you may have noticed that I didn't even do benchmarks for this rig, simply because I remember I entered a match of Fortnite and I just went, fuck this, I'm not playing it. Basically, it was averaging 60 no stress, which is below what this card can achieve on low pro settings, put it that way, on the pro setting, which is low, everything low, except for video settings, which is crank. It should have been getting about probably 75 to 80 frames. I was happy with 60 average. But the issue was, I don't usually give a fuck about 0.1%, but the thing is, this thing's 0.1% was 0. Like, this thing would just constantly start up, stop, go, stop, go, stop, go. And the mins were like 34. But the 0.1 just showed it. Like 0.1 doesn't, like 0.1 is basically just how much the game started. And this game would just start it. It would be like, it was like that. It wasn't lagging, it was just stuttering because it couldn't load in the information. I was running around with fucking trees half loaded in and stuff. Like, it was just a pure mess. Just a pure mess of just abomination. So I ended up switching everything out with this case, with this PC, including the water cooler, which I'll talk in a second. Ran the game really well. Like, everything just ran smoothly. It was a good computer after cleaning up obviously the years of dust. Like, did you see the power supply?
Duo, like
when I opened it up, I for the first time in my life I felt like vomiting after looking that apart. Like, I've gone through corrosion and just crap. This was another level of the shit. I originally decided to put a water cooler on. I wanted to try and overclock the Q9505 as much as I could. I used to own a Q9505 and that chip just had lost the silicon lottery. The CPU was alright. I got up to 3.9 GHz stable, which is good. Fucking Prime 95 ran for 10 hours, no worries. But the issue was that this thing would hit 99.9 degrees before it would just shut off. This was because there were way too many capacitors and just SMDs around the CPU socket. So then when you go to put the cooler on, it would make contact with those, and rather than squishing onto the CPU die, it would squish onto those. So we were having stability issues because those components were getting crushed, most likely, and the CPU was overheating at the same time. Hence why I could only get it up to 3.6 without it freaking overheating. And when I said it ran 10 hours at 3.9, no, it's actually 3.6 stable, because it would hit like 97 degrees and would hold there. The thing is, I had two cores of which the right side of the die was cooled, the left side of the die was just transferring heat to the cooled side. So we had two CPU cores at like 80 something degrees. Mind you, it's not fully on, so you're not getting maximum cooling. The fan going at like at 100, and I remember going, why the fuck is this thing turning off randomly? And I remember checking the temps and going, oh, that makes sense. When I took out the CPU cooler, it wasn't squished on properly. That board I ended up just chucking in the middle of the road, and someone picked it up because it just wasn't bothered with it. It was a nice board, I just couldn't be fucked dealing with it. So yeah, big mistake. So don't do what I do. Make sure you check the specs when you're buying something, and just go blindside thinking, oh yeah, first generation i5, I can swap it in for an i7. Nah. Look what you're buying. So yeah, not too bad of an experience. I mean, I sorted it out, solved it regardless. Mistakes will happen, and I think this is a learning curve for me and probably anyone else who looks at me to build PCs, because I learned from other guys who did mistakes. So yeah, best bet, always go on YouTube, learn off YouTube, and you're laughing. So yeah, thank you very much. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I will catch you next time. See ya, guys.